evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Monday, November 28, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. BUSHLOT pensioner murdered on 85th birthday during alleged robbery. Granddaughter brutally murders ESSEQUIBO Coast pensioner. COI returns to ASHMINS building on fact-finding mission. Agriculture is not a poor people job. MUSTAPHA urges young people to get involved. And Guyana eyes visa-free travel to Italy. Now for the news in detail. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the murder of a pensioner who was brutally stabbed to death on her 85th birthday at her BUSHLOT West Coast Burpees home. In our lead story tonight, we hear that the woman's great-niece claims that the woman was murdered during a robbery at her home. Here's more.
Dead is Samintra Saw, also known as Auntie Betty, of Lot 131, Section B, BUSHLOT, West Coast Berbice, who turned 85 on Monday. Saw lived alone, but her 37-year-old great-niece had visited her on Sunday, where she stayed the night. The great-niece told investigators that the elderly woman went to sleep in the front room while she slept in the back room. The great-niece said at around 3 hours today, she was awakened by a man who held a knife to her throat, demanding money. The woman said the bandit then took her out of the room, where she saw another man holding the pensioner at knife point. The woman said the bandit eventually tied her up and waited with her. When he left, the woman said she set herself free and went to check on the elderly woman, who was found lying in a pool of blood on her bed. The great-niece claimed that Auntie Betty had a handbag which had about $350,000 inside, which was missing. According to the police, 6 wounds were observed on the woman's face, 1 each on both sides of the temple, 3 on the forehead, and 1 to the back of the head. Meanwhile, abrasions were also seen on the great-niece's neck and right hand. When questioned, she claimed that the suspect injured her. The woman was taken to the hospital for treatment as investigations continue.
Just yesterday, a 75-year-old woman was brutally killed at her charity ESSEQUIBO Coast Region 2 home, and police have since arrested the woman's 22-year-old granddaughter. Dead is Angelica Agatha Gamel. She was murdered sometime around 4 hours. According to reports, Gamel lived alone in a flat concrete house and would be visited occasionally by her granddaughter. On Saturday night at about 20 hours, the suspect visited the elderly woman with her 1-month-old daughter to spend the night. However, around 4 hours on Sunday morning, one of Gamel's neighbors told investigators that she heard loud screams, tramping, and the crying of a baby coming from the elderly woman's house. These sounds lasted for about 15 minutes. Shortly after, the suspect went to the neighbor's house and knocked at the door. According to the neighbor, when the door was opened, she saw the 22-year-old woman with the naked baby in her hands. The neighbor said the suspect told her that the baby had just died and attempted to hand the baby over to her. The neighbor refused to take the baby. The suspect then walked out of the yard and onto the street with her baby. The police were then summoned. Gamel's body was clad in a white nightdress with suspected bloodstains, lying face up on a floor mat in the kitchen. A large wound was seen behind the neck and one to the right side temple. Also, 2 large wounds were seen on the back of the elderly woman's head. All of the elderly woman's hair was also shaved from her head and placed on the kitchen floor. A pair of scissors with what appeared to be bloodstains were found on top of a gas stove. A broken glass jar was found on the floor next to the body, and cooking salt was seen scattered on the floor. The suspect was later arrested, and the baby seemed to be in good health. The baby was handed over to a family member. In their quest for detailed information, the ongoing Commission of Inquiry today returned to ASHMINS building, which housed the Region 4 Command Center, ground zero for the controversy that nearly derailed the tabulation of the 2020 general and regional elections. Here are the details from Gerald Bryan.
Elections COI Commissioners retired Justices Stanley John, Godfrey Smith, and Carl Singh conducted a site visit of ASHMINS building on Monday. They were accompanied by Sophia Choate, the Trinidadian senior counsel who was led questioning during the COI. Assistant Police Commissioner Edgar Thomas, GCOM IT Manager Anil Giddens, and then election observer Dr. Josh Kanai were also present on the tour. Giddens responded to questions from Choate and pointed out where specific events occurred during that controversial period. One such event, he pointed out, was the area where persons were being hindered from delivering SOPs to the returning officer.
Yes, on this floor, there was an enclosed area, approximately about where we are standing, that housed the office of the returning officer. for District 4.
Would that be the place where the DROs would come and then do the handover to the RO, this being his office?
Well, at the start it was a smooth process where DROs would have come and delivered their statements and be on their way. But at some point, I can't recall exactly, they weren't able or they were hindered in delivering, and a lot of them were arriving at that point. So they had to take up position here to wait with their packages.
When you say they were hindered in delivering, what do you mean?
As I understand it, the RO's office was, for lack of a better term, not functioning.
Dr. Kadai meanwhile pointed out areas where significant events happened, such as the door he helped breach to gain access to GCOM chair retired Justice Claudette Singh. At the time, Singh was in a locked room with tinted windows, prompting alarm among observers and election agents that she might be in harm's way. ACP Thomas was quizzed by the commissioners about what the security and surveillance arrangements for ASHMINS were.
Thomas was there. You all have a security room, cameras there, you're monitoring everything?
No, I was not responsible for monitoring any activity in the building.
Who would have been responsible?
I'm not certain who was.
Not the police?
Not the police from my knowledge. Presently at the building, or were at the building monitoring anything.
Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
In keeping with his government's commitment to improve the lives of all Guyanese, President Dr. Irvin Ali has promised to work with the youths of Leopold Street in Work and Rust, Georgetown, by having them trained to take up jobs in the construction sector. Rupa Sinarain has the details.
This announcement was made on Sunday when the head of state conducted a walkabout in the area. He was accompanied by Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben and Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken, along with senior members of the Guyana Police Force. President Ali recommended that youths be engaged and undergo a 2-week training in carpentry and masonry to prepare them for employment opportunities. He said that they will be incorporated into the Ministry of Housing's program to work on the construction of homes. According to the head of state, the Home Affairs Minister will be leading a full team to Leopold Street on Tuesday, including private sector players who are also looking to recruit people to do welding and fabrication works.
This is your opportunity. You don't have excuses anymore. You do not have excuses anymore. We are coming to find you, to be trained, to give you the necessary skills so that you can be functioning in the economy. You can be part of the transformation. You can be part of the development. Minister Ben is going to come back with a full team in a new week, including private sector people that are looking to recruit people to do welding and fabrication, who will train young people in welding and fabrication. We will bring people in carpentry. The Ministry of Housing will be here to recruit people.
However, even as he committed to working with the young people in Leopold Street to get jobs, President Ali implored that the residents ensure that young children are in schools.
Regardless of which community you're from, regardless of the circumstances that shape your life, we all have the ability to change our life. We all have the ability to live a better life. And the government wants to create the opportunity to give every single person an opportunity to live that better life.
During the engagement with residents, concerns were raised about the state of roads in the area. Consequently, the head of state revealed that government will work with the youths from the community to fix the drainage and roads. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
The Guyana Elections Commission has commenced the distribution of national identification cards at all its registration offices countrywide with effect from today. Persons who completed registration transactions during the cycle of continuous registration and the claims and objections exercise are advised that they can uplift their national identification cards from the GCOM registration office where the transaction was done. The Commission is also advising persons that authorizations will not be accepted, and in this regard, registrants must uplift their ID cards personally in accordance with GCOM's standard operating procedures. Additionally, the Commission is also urging urging persons who would have conducted transactions in previous registration exercises prior to 2022 and have not yet uplifted their national identification cards to do so immediately. Coming up, Health Ministry on alert for RSV COVID infections among children, and Frontiera CGX postpone Guyana well drilling. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to their ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Ocho. 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 Organic Ocho candy. What's
With unlimited games to choose from, you can be a winner with Superbet. Choose from our virtual sports, live betting, sports betting, live roulette, and much, much more. Place your bets at www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 and over. Play responsibly.
It's November already and soon it will be Christmas. So we at John Lewis Styles are giving away one Amazon Echo show every week in November and every day in December. Stream music and videos, make video calls and control smart devices, alarms, reminders and lots more. Every $5,000 spent gives you a chance to win when you shop for clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage and accessories. So visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply
another reason to shop at Gafours from now till Christmas. Gafours has launched its 7-car promotion with over $30 million in prizes to be won. With any purchase of $5,000 for self-service or $100,000 for wholesale customers, you have a chance to enter any one of our 7 branches. This promotion runs from September 9th to December 29. For more information, visit our Facebook page at Gafours or contact us on 223-9896. Gafours, the name you can trust.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Guyana has initiated talks with Italy on the possibility of visa-free travel between the two countries. According to a statement from Guyana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Minister Hugh Todd today met with non-resident ambassador designate of the Republic of Italy to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Fabrizio Nicoletti, where the two discussed the topic of visa-free travel. During the engagement, Minister Todd noted that Guyana is committed to fostering stronger bilateral relations and partnership with Italy in priority areas of the government, including health, education, and security. Minister Todd also noted that visa-free travel will provide mutual benefit for both countries, particularly through private sector engagements and people-to-people exchanges, which will be advanced in the future. Rome, Italy is one of the most important tourist destinations of the world due to the incalculable immensity of its archaeological and artistic treasures. The Health Ministry is currently on high alert for respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, and COVID combination illnesses amid trends which have been affecting children under 2 years. Rupa Sinarayan reports.
3 viruses, namely COVID-19, RSV, and influenza, sometimes present in combinations, which lead to a higher chance of hospitalization and even death. However, trends have shown children presenting with a combination of RSV and COVID in recent months, putting local medical authorities on the lookout.
RSV is a virus that normally would infect people. Generally, it's mild. However, what we have noticed over the last couple of months is that RSV now is in combination with COVID, and it's presenting a lot of problems with small children, children below the ages of 2.
Generally, RSV is presented with lower respiratory tract infection. This means children would have difficulty breathing and bronchitis.
If parents notice that their children are having breathing problems, they should bring them to the hospital for an examination and treatment. We haven't recorded any cases, but we are on the alert because we have seen that there is, in the United States, 3 viruses that sometimes present in combination, which can result in hospitalization and sometimes even death.
In Guyana, 120 active COVID-19 cases are being monitored, with 10 persons hospitalized and 4 in the intensive care unit. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
The once-annual Rotenoni Business Investment Expo returned to the town of Lethem, Region 9, after 2 years as a result of the restrictions imposed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During the opening ceremony, Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai spoke of the potential to expand the economy of Rotenoni, as other officials urged local businesses to seize opportunities that are being created by the government. Here are the details.
The Rotenoni Business Investment Expo, a 2-day event which opened on Saturday, saw mainly residents of both North and South Rotenoni, along with large businesses including government agencies and businesses from neighboring Brazil participating. Some 25 Amerindian villages were represented at the expo as well. Speaking during the opening ceremony, Amerindian Affairs Minister Pauline Sukai referred to the expo as the premier business event in the region,
which affords its members, that is the RCCI members, the private sector, the farmers and the Amerindians, to showcase, to highlight the products, the goods and services available in Rotenoni, and also uniquely showcase the Rotenoni products and the products of the Amerindians.
In this regard, she spoke of the vast potential to expand the Rotenoni economy, which is largely driven by tourism and agriculture. She gave an example of advancing the services sector.
Because the service sector collides and complements uniquely with tourism. And so that is another sector which I believe has great potential in this part of our country.
Sukai also spoke of potentials for commercial agriculture and noted that her ministry is working in collaboration with the Agriculture Ministry in this regard.
Indeed, cassava is one of the products that can become the main product that the Rotenoni can export, if not export to Brazil and Georgetown, but export externally. And so we need to pay some attention to that.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office of Investment, Go Invest, Peter Ramsarup, encouraged locals to take advantage of the many opportunities being created by government.
You've got to figure out how your product or your services meet that demand.
Recognizing that many young people still have the perception that agriculture is a poor people job, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa says government is working tirelessly to get more youths involved in the sector. For if they do not, in the not-so-distant future, there may be a void in the industry when the current players retire. Find out more in this report.
During a recent meeting with farmers from Burma Housing Scheme and other surrounding areas, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa revealed that significant emphasis is being placed on getting more young people involved in the agriculture industry.
Because when you look around the agriculture sector in our country, we are seeing more mature people, we are seeing more aged persons, and when they retire, we might have a void in this sector. We have to change the perception. The perception of young people is that agriculture is a menial job. Agriculture is a job for old people who didn't went to school and things like that. So we have to change that perception. We have to do agriculture in a smarter way and a more modern way.
In this regard, he spoke of climate change and the impact it has had on this year's rice production. Mustafa again emphasized the need to modernize the agriculture industry.
This year we would have cultivated 180,000 acres of rice, which is far below our potential, and because of the rain, because of the conditions that we have experienced, we are having almost every day we are having rainfall. And this shows climate change is real. And farmers, you have to take it very seriously. Gone are the days when we used to do things just like how we do it 10 years ago. We have to do things in a different way now.
Meanwhile, the Agriculture Minister noted that Region 5 has the capacity to produce approximately 105 acres of rice, and as such, government is in the process of setting up a system to bring the seed paddy production capacity to about 65,000 bags per crop. The region currently makes about 30,000 bags per crop.
A joint venture formed by Canada-based companies Frontiera Energy Corp and CGX Energy Inc. today announced it was postponing drilling of the Way 1 well offshore Guyana, citing contractor obligations. The company said they have agreed with the Guyanese government to start drilling no later than January 31, 2023, to allow contractor Noble Corp PLC to complete current obligations in Trinidad. Frontiera and CGX were previously scheduled to begin drilling the well by November 27. Way 1 is one of the 2 wells in Guyana's Currentine block that the companies have committed to drill. The other well, Kawa 1, struck light oil and gas condensate in May, though the companies had not said how much oil was found or whether it was commercially viable. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Tuesday, November 29th at 11:30 hours and then again at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Tuesday, November 29th at 8:30 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
PM promises government's continued investment in sport, and Holder urges West Indies Quicks to not get carried away. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
This Christmas, guess what? You're guaranteed to save big right at National Hardware Limited. Shopping for Christmas trees? We've got all sizes, from the traditional to the ones with a modern twist. Garlands, wreaths, lights, and Christmas inflatables are what you need to bring that Christmas cheer. Out with the old and in with the new. We've got curtains, carpets, and so much more to spruce up your home for the holidays. Save time too, and get presents for both boys and girls, whether big or small. National Hardware has you covered, in more ways than one this holiday season. Check out our superstore at 13 to 14 Industrial Site, Rumvelt. telephone number 231-1091-95. Or downtown at 17 to 19A Water Street, telephone number 227-19.
Hi, my name is Jalen Softly, and I'm very excited to have G20 set up this fiber cable. As you can see, I'm young, so I'll be using this Wi-Fi, this internet, to be doing my everyday browsing and searching and, you know, just my homework and assignments, playing games, watching YouTube, you know, the regular stuff. I really enjoy the service. I think it's extremely great, and you also have like the free minutes. So for that, you know, if you're in trouble, you call your parents or someone.
Did you know that the government has funded the 2022 budget through oil revenues? Yes, money earned from oil production offshore is being used to support projects in Guyana, including social programs like the increase of public assistance and old age pension, as well as cash grants to support the vulnerable members of society.